in the information we sent out asking, what you all wanted to learn about, you talked about biblical study and exegesis. So that's why I did my presentation on Friday night. And you talked about real issues and preaching to the real issues that really affect us and our lives in this country. And so Kim Jackson gave us insight into that. And you also asked about storytelling. Now, I've heard of Susan Russell's reputation as a storyteller, but she is so much more than that. She is an actor. She is a professor. She is an author. She recently retired from Penn State University after doing all those wonderful things. And what I am most intrigued about, as I've looked over her information and some websites, is her work around what's called cultural conversations and moral moments, which is, if I understand it correctly, it's about how what we say, how we say it, and how we communicate with others and who's there all determine our reality as a community. So if you wanted to talk about preaching in church and in sermons and telling stories, then, I can't think of a better place for a moral moment and cultural conversation, at least the beginnings of it, taking place in a sermon, in the hopes that it will build community. So that being said, Susan, we are yearning to hear from you about how we best use storytelling and preaching, and we await your advice and enlightenment.
Oh my goodness! Well, what a privilege! What a divine invitation that you give me. The beautiful thought. Well, first, hello everyone. I am so hello. I'm all about elementary education. So if you would all just wave at me, I would see that you see me, and I'm going to go to the second page, and I'm going to see all y'all. The beauty of being an educator, which when you imagine yourself as preachers, as truly being educators, the core of education is understanding that we are all learners. And the very first thing that an educator says, if you understand the process of being an educator in the world, and I just got to say it, I'm also, thank you, Peter, for reminding me, Stephen, for reminding me that I've retired. But retiring for me is spelled W-O-R-K, so I immediately went back to work, and I'm teaching right now at UNCG. And actually, the first sentence out in my classes is, hello, I'm Susan Russell, and I will get everything wrong all the time because I am human. And this class is about how do we understand as human beings that we are here together and we can begin things in simplicity. The things I offer my students, I think about what John just spoke on so eloquently. The process of teaching requires that we take what we are asked to teach and we crack it open, to use John's phrase. We crack open language, we crack open stories, we crack open events, incidents, data, and we stare into the gaps. And I guarantee you 100% of the time, the gaps are people, because who better falls inside the gaps of history than real human beings? And I was so moved by this beautiful invitation that all of you gave all of us for the first half hour, because what sermons are moments when we have the opportunity to crack open something very dense, something very meaningful, and give it a real person. And all that is in the world is understanding that you are human when you are preaching, you are human when you are teaching, and you are very human when you are learning. And the beauty of a story is that I can technically talk to you about how stories work, but you've been in the presence of about 100 stories since 10 o'clock. I was in the presence of 4 stories from 9:45 to 10 o'clock. And I keep hearing Jessica talk to me and teach me a story about Idaho. And Jessica introduced me to Idaho by saying, where I live, there are only 3 ways in. And you talk about preaching. What a great opening to a sermon. Because teaching and preaching, Jessica and Janet and Stephen and all of you, it's the same thing. How can we take this dense story, which is supremely human, and be a bridge between what's human about the story and the complexity of the story itself? So, you know, I'm also riffing on John this morning. When you talk about the Sermon on the Mount, I mean, Jesus was sitting outside in front of people who were in the sun and totally exhausted and hungry and thirsty. And he did not talk for a half an hour, maybe a half an hour total, but he gave very small sound bites that people could grab onto. And I keep hearing, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And that's what John was talking about, humility. The beauty of that tiny story is that it is perfect in its simplicity. It has a verb, blessed, which means to bless, which is also a noun. Are is action. The meek is a noun. For they, here are the human beings, shall inherit, which is something in the future, the earth, which is what everyone is sitting on. Talk about a story. Now I could just talk for 45 minutes, but you know what? I've known me for 65 years, and I'm less interested in me now than I was probably when I was 13. You know, when you're 13, you're really interested in yourself. And in my worldview, as a teacher and as an actor and as a storyteller, our audiences are either 3 years old, which is all the joy there is in the world, or 13, which is, well, what does this have to do with me? And as a classroom professor, those are the students I sit in front of all the time. As a public speaker, I'm staring at, you know, up to, and I've been blessed to talk to thousands. I've, at this point in my life, talked to thousands of human beings, sometimes 400 or 500 at a time. And my truest way in is to understand that the audience, the congregation, the classroom is me. So can I bear the weight of looking at myself while I offer a bridge to each other? Sure, I can stand that. I can actually stand to look at all. How many are we? Are we about 40? Are we about 40 maybe? I can
30.
bear, thank you. I can do that because over the course of my career as a teacher, my first story had to be the one I told myself about you. You know, so let's, you know, do some participation here. Grab a piece of paper, because storytelling is participatory, promise. If you are participating in storytelling, then you are truly telling the story of participation, which is preaching, which is teaching. So give me 5 words. Give me 5 words, independent words, that describe you. 5 words. Beautiful. Beautiful. Is that hard or easy? I'm staring at you. Is that hard? Janet, is that hard or easy?
I had to stop myself.
You had to stop yourself. I'm very proud of you. You are an elevated human. If you can describe yourself in, these kinds of situations where you are offered the space to do that. What if you are imagining this opportunity all the time as a cracking open of the self? And we have, thank you, Janet. We have words that we get to attach to ourselves as teachers and preachers. The word vulnerability begins with, can I be open enough? Can I be willing in every moment to share myself? I call this the WOMP factor. It's WOMPP. Am I, as a human being, willing to be here? Am I willing to learn something new? Am I open to the possibility of being wrong? Am I mindful that I am not the only person in the room? Am I present? That means it's just, am I here? Do I see you? Am I looking all around and watching all of you? Am I, in this moment, possible? And this is a great way to start every opportunity you have with storytelling. Am I willing, open, mindful, present, so I can be possible? And these 5 words, if you just stare at those words right now, could I ask you each to choose one of those 5 words to put in chat? And just type one of those 5 words in chat and share one of those 5 words. And this is an identifier. This is a vulnerable moment. I'm watching and waiting for chat to come alive. Yeah, there's one. Oh, look at that. Oh, keep going. Keep going. Look at that. Oh, how beautiful. Look at that. Oh, love that. Keep going. I'm not almost done. And run through, each one of you, please, scroll back up through all of these words and see if there are a couple that I love, silly, and see if there are a couple in those beautiful descriptive words that you hope for yourself. Is there a couple there that you left out? You gave yourself 5. Is there anything there that you want to adopt or adapt or invite into your personal narrative? And if so, I guarantee you that somebody, maybe, I love quiet. I actually have to cultivate quiet. So I might add quiet to myself this morning. Curious, beautiful, I get you, painful, anxious, silly, all of these descriptors, when we realize that people are also telling the story of us and we invite people to describe themselves, we're actually also staring at the things we want for ourselves. The 5, thank you for that participation. You're looking at a story being created. Could I ask you to fill in the blank? Underneath those 5 words, now we're actually going to start building a story. Could you fill in the following? And this was taught to me. I will tell you that my classroom experiences began with sixth graders. So if you can be present, mindful, open, willing, and possible in a room full of 12 or 13-year-olds, they taught me how to be this human being. And I went deeply into sixth grade education as an educator, and I asked them to teach me how to teach them. And what I learned from my sixth graders, I use in everything I do. Everything. Because there's something so elementally human. How many of us know a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old? Can I see hands raised? Can I see hands? Let me scroll to the second. Oh, yes. There's nothing more beautiful about their attention to the world. And they are also, oh, I love that. Hello, Elise, I live with one. Yes, well done. Well done. The beauty of a 12 or a 13-year-old is that their simplicity is so activated that finally, in the moment in my sixth grade classroom, when I just stopped my teaching and I went, okay, help me. And they went, well, what do you want? And I said, I want to connect with you. And of course, the first thing you get is this. And then the second thing you get when they realize you're actually asking, I had a young man lean forward from his posture and say, what do you want me to do? And I went, oh, well, I want you to sit still. And he went, now what? And I went, okay, I get it. I get it. If my teaching / preaching does not have a doing, then I'm going to lose you. And now I go back to John. Blessed are the meek. Jesus says, be humble. Be humble. And if you are humble, you're going to inherit, or you're might live. What's interesting, have any of you read the recent translations of the Sermon on the Mount out of Aramaic? Oh my goodness. There's a book called Prayers of the Cosmos that takes the ancient Aramaic and invites you to stare at the language of that part of the world. And the Aramaic translation of humble or meek is very layered in more doing. The doing is, blessed are those who cannot live in peace without the presence of God. Talk about, I know, I see you, Stephen. This is very rich stuff. Language. One of the invitations that John said was, how are we talking to people? The Cherokee father who said, the wolf you feed. You talk to a young man about animals and eating. How beautiful is that? Talk about a bridge, a lay bridge from something dense, like looking at the young man saying, violence doesn't and has never worked. Yeah, you're going to get this. But if you say, dude, and of course, every time I say that in my classroom, my students go, don't say that. Don't say that word. It really just doesn't look good coming out of your mouth. Don't say dude. And I say, okay, y'all. And they say, well, okay, we can take that. We can take y'all. So this kind of narrative, the translation that John invites us to think about of something so important, which is nonviolence has to be equated in a preaching situation to something everyone understands. Don't feed the wolf of violence. Feed the cocker spaniel of peace. And that makes me laugh because, you know, how do I take care of myself, John? I laugh nonstop. And my face has been hurting from being in all of y'all's presence because I feel your joy. Zoom, I mean, if we don't learn how to be joyful in a space of technology, all of this will have been for naught. And I had to teach for 2.5 years through technology, and I watched my students go like this because they wanted nothing more than to be connected to me. That's the truth. The truth is your parishioners, your community, your classroom, which is your parishioners and your community and your family, want to connect. Your fear of offering that space or even creating it through telling a story is your primary obstacle. Oh, hallelujah. I just get all understanding of how we have made things so hard because we're so afraid that we are not enough, or that we are not the answer for the moment, or that we don't have anything to contribute. Welcome to 13 years old. Welcome to 13 years old. So here are the 5 questions that my 13-year-olds helped me understand were the basis of simple teaching and simple storytelling. The first question is, I am ... And I guarantee if you will note these, if you will write these down, and you've already done the I am, you gave me 5 I ams. I am ... I know ... I know. And give yourself some space to write maybe 3 things. What do you know about the world? What do you know about the world? You know, yeah, just give me 3 things. I am. You gave me 5. I know ... What do you know? And this is your private personal space. We're going to build a story from this. The third one is I want. I want ... What do you want? Give yourself space to write 3 things. I want. I am. I know. I want ... The fourth is I believe ... I believe ... And give yourself space to write down the 3 things you believe. And it's just for right now. When we talk about giving ourselves space to crack the world open, we have to be with ourselves long enough to figure out what we are thinking. And the 5th, I am, I know, I want, I believe. The 5th is I dream. I dream ... What do you dream? What do you dream? What do you? Give yourself at least 3 of I am, I know, I want, I believe, and I dream. This is the beginning of a story. Because Mo dreams, Karen wants something, Anita believes something, as does John and Mark and Ruth and James and Peter and Ellen. I'm just saying names. Dick and Janet and Elise and Jerry and Shauna and Ron, Julie. I come from the era of, do y'all remember, or did you have her? She was this great educator. And she would hold a mirror up to the camera on television and go, I see Deborah. I see, who was that, Janet? Romper Room?
Miss Barbara. Yes.
Miss Barbara.
Yep.
And I keep going to Janet because Janet and I had a moment early on. But Dick and Joetta and Alonzo, I mean, this woman was reaching through the screens as far back as the 60s. And she would go, I see Julie. I see Jake. I see Meg. And bless her heart, and Spencer and Rod. I see Deborah. And she would somehow, and she'd just say names. And as children, as a 5-year-old, we would just lean into the television going, say my name, talk about 3 years old. And if she said your name, you'd go like this. But the poor lady, what a responsibility, So you have I am, I know, I want, I believe, I dream. In the world of storyteller, there is no human being that does not do these 5 things. When you are looking at a way to construct a very difficult conversation, to understand that every human being on the planet, and we know this from anthropology, sociology, politics, we know this. This is the human operating system. Everyone has a sense of self. Now, where that sense of self is personal, but everyone has an I am. Everyone has an I know. Pick, and this is just for everyone to begin to contribute to chat. Pick the most foundational knowing that you have as a human being, and contribute it to chat. Contribute that, please. Just one. You gave yourself 3. Contribute. What do you know? Ron, what do you know? Julie and Shauna, what do you know? Look, child of God, life is a journey. You go, Ron. Yeah, my way. Oh, Julie, you go. My ways are not your ways, Spencer. Yes, more. What do you know? I know how to learn, how to help. Yet you are imperfect. Listen, I don't know. Why, Ed? Look at you, you mystic. Yes, but we are the beloved. Music. Okay, Ron. Everyone wants love. Yes, Anita. I know I need to know more, John. Yes. I know the prayer book. I love that, John. Well done. Keep going. Keep populating. Because so as you populate chat with what you know, you begin to connect with all the people. All right, coffee is a sacrament. Okay, Shauna, you and I can party. Thank you, John. I am still learning. What do you know? Creation. Oh, Karen, look at you. When we actually ask each other to contribute actively all the time, include tea-cats. Oh, I went, what's a tea-cat? I love cats. And I went, what's a tea-cat? At least tea-cats and books. What do I know? I know tea-cats and books. Well, at least you and I can party too. Tea-cats that I need. This kind of active seeking. I love Shauna, me too. This kind of active seeking from your own congregation or family, what they know, begins with you sharing what you know, and not in a kind of egotistical way. My dad, one of the reasons I've moved back to North Carolina, my dad is 97, and I am now primary care of my dad. My dad's in a beautiful Quaker facility called Friends Home in Greensboro. But what I am doing, and this is what I did with Mom, I've lost my mom 3 years ago, and I took the last 3 years, and this is wisdom we gain, of course, but I'm actively seeking what my father knows at 97, actively seeking. And I go and I sit in there and I go, oh, thank you. Yes, John. Yeah, I'm actively seeking what my father knows. And I actively sought what my mother knows. before she passed. And I just lost my elder brother too. But I actively sought in the last several years what they knew. And that has enriched my teaching, my preaching, because I think teaching is preaching. I have to be very mindful of what I'm preaching. I just happen right now to be preaching musical theater history and critical thinking. That's my preaching right now. Let me teach you how to think. I'm not going to teach you what to think. I'm going to teach you how to think. And then we'll talk about what you think. That's later. So this kind of seeking, when you are in front of people with the responsibility of connecting with them, you get to begin with yourself. Now, please share. What do you want? Choose one thing to share. I want. What do you want? Just one word. I want. Put in chat. I want. Because welcome to you at 13. I want. What do you want? Peace, to walk with my dad. Reconciliation, rest. Life everlasting. Thank you, Rod. To have a sense of calm, graceful path. Look at all of us, calm. There is nothing, keep going, communication. There is nothing outside of all of our experiences than what is being written right now. What is being written right now? I want to help others feel loved by God. Laughter, greater connection, peace. Oy, oy, oy. Look at this. Oh my goodness. The privilege I have of teaching in an international forum is that you have not articulated anything that I have not heard from my Chinese students, from my Vietnamese students, from my Jewish students, from my Islamic students, from my Presbyterian students, from my students in France. Everything you're saying is the basic human want. And our discourses can either bring us together or we can use them to tear each other apart. It's just that simple. And when John offers us the invitation to take a sermon, to take a thought and crack it open, we look down at those people who have been left behind. And when I stare out into a classroom and I see students of color, I see minoritized populations, I see students from all over the world, every single one of them feels left behind. Welcome to being human. And when we seek to preach or to teach from a space of our own acknowledgement of vulnerability and the human journey, we become very important to the people in front of us. The fourth one was I believe. Now, this is not what I believe in. This is what I believe. Because when Stephen invites me to speak about moral moments, every culture on the planet, every human being on the planet, and I believe just in the United States alone, my students love to Google when I say things. I say, how many people? And so then I just give them assignments. Because they're 13, even though they're 18 to 22. What do you want me to do? I want you to look up how many human beings there are based on the last census in the United States of America. And they go, and they go, and this is what they told me, 330.86 million. So there are 330.86 million human beings just in the United States alone that believes something. So you want to weigh in? Every person on the planet has a belief. So choose one of the things you believe. This is not what you believe in. God, having hope is vital. There we go. James, you're exactly on it. Having hope. I believe in hope. Showing up. Go, Spencer. Showing up. There's more than I see now. Keep going. Make sure you're watching too. Most conflicts are illusions. Good, Jerry. Go on. Conflicts are illusions. Two important things. More. God will lead us if we follow. Thank you, Stephen. Yes, yes, yes. Keep going. I believe there is good. Okay, Joetta, there is good in everyone. You talk about if you walk into situations believing there is good in everyone, all want the same basic things out of life. Anita, yes, keep going. What if we are all connected? I believe that love leads us to wholeness of life. Yikes, Ruth. Wow, beautiful. The holy, thank you, Rod. What do I believe? I guarantee you that every person on the planet holds a belief. And the key expression of the human condition is that we have 4 operating systems. The first one is belief. Everyone believes something. The second one, beautifully, is ethic. Every human being on the planet follows rules. Ethics are principles. Principles are rules. Every human being has rules that they follow. Every human being takes actions. We're not so hard to figure out. And every human being has faith in something. As an elementary school teacher, I have never met a child that did not love something. But I have met hundreds of adults, it gets less and less, who could not tell me what love is. And that's 13. What do you want me to do? Oh, love is, and this is what adults do now. Let's, and then I do the 6th grade exercise with them, which is we're going to build a big pile of love. Put it in your hand. What is love? Tell me what it's doing. Petting a dog. I say, throw it in the center. Boom, petting a dog. I said, but don't throw the dog, just throw what that is. Can we build a big pile of doing? Your sermon is a pile of doing. And we have to understand that people need to know what you want them to do. And if you want them to be themselves, you have to invite them into telling you, I am. If you want them to tell you what they know, you have to invite them into telling you. You have to also invite them into telling you what they want. And you have to invite them in to telling you what they believe. And sometimes it can be hard because I have students that believe very different things from each other. And I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about love. I'm talking about how you treat each other. I'm talking about the behavior. But we can all come together on the last one. I dream. Can you add some of your dreams to the chat? Because we're going to build a big story from all this. What are some of your dreams? What's a dream? What's a dream? I dream. What do you dream? Give it a word. Adventure? Go on. I dream. Mutual understanding. Go, Anita. I dream. I dream kids successful. Thank you, James. Relaxation, Mark. Nice. I dream a world at peace. Wow, Ed. What do I dream? What do I dream? More. You're like my set. Oh, Dick, go on. I dream of Jeannie. Listen, I know that song. Flourishing grandchildren, of being a writer. What do I dream? What do I dream? Bounding in the prairie of the U.S. becoming its highest ideal. Gotcha, Janet. What do I dream? That one day all humanity will look upon it as children of God. Fulfillment. I dream. All cherishing the environment. Thank you, Julie. I dream of creating beautiful things, Shauna. Nice. I dream. 2 more. And if 2 more don't appear, then somebody make it up. Participate. That there will be enough for all. Thank you, John. that there will be enough for all. I dream. One more. I dream of mutual caring among people of all cultures and countries. Ruth, I'm going to talk back to you for a second. There is a story of going to Alaska. Well, Rod, I love that everyone was actually following Jesus's footsteps. The dream of mutual caring amongst people of all cultures and countries. Now we're actually going to take Ruth's dream. We're going to take Ruth's dream. Can everybody see that? Whoops. We're going to take Ruth's dream. I dream of mutual caring among people of all cultures and countries. I dream, please write that down, because now you're going to write a very simple story based on Ruth's dream. And Ruth, you're going to write one too. This is actually taking someone's dream, which you talk about really connecting with a population of people. You ask them what they dream, and then you write a story about it. So just write that down. I dream of mutual caring amongst people of all cultures and countries. And here is what we call in the teaching world, all you teachers out there that are on the screens, this is going to be your prompt. Or if you've taken any classes lately, here's your prompt. Today I saw. Today I saw. And knowing that your end game is a dream of mutual caring among people of all cultures and countries, please locate something in your experience that is recent, that you can go, today I saw, ... What have you seen today that can lead to mutual caring? What did you see today? Today I saw. Today I saw. Oh. Thanks, Jerry. Your second prompt, and to keep it, I'm fascinated, Jerry. The last thing, I'm fascinated that today I saw some simple acts of kindness. Today I saw today I saw before and after pictures of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. Today I saw. Now make sure you're writing down somewhere in your own journal what your today I saw is. I love that you're sharing a lady helping her elderly mother to get to and from physical therapy. Oh, what grace, Mark. Today I saw some simple acts of kindness. Today I saw sparrows and doves gathering at the bird feeder. Oh, John, what blessing. Today I saw an invitation to a discussion about systemic racism in our community. Today, I saw an invitation to a discussion about systemic racism in our community. Today, I saw a basketball player giving a hand to a player on the other team. Today, I saw my 5 grieving aunts texting each other, supportive memes, aunties and memes. Aunties and memes. I saw the sun rise over the snow-capped mountains, marking a new day. Go, Rod. Oh, today I saw. Oh, today I saw. What a beautiful beginning. Today I saw my cat. About 29 people improved their ability to help others. Today I saw my cat and dog using the same water bottle. Okay, Shauna. This is so awesome. That is one of the best. And Janet knows this from what I told her. If I don't see anybody using that line in a sermon or in a play in 2 years, it's mine. Especially you, Shauna. I saw my cat and dog using the same water bowl. Today I saw my son wave bye-bye to someone he hardly knew. Y'all, this is so beautiful. Look at these stories. Look at these stories. Have you all seen the meme, talking about the meme of the little boy that goes, hello, good morning, good morning. This is Chad, this little 2-year-old boy who walks through the streets with his mom. She finally took his picture and put it on Facebook, God bless her, of this little boy going, hello, hello, good morning, good morning. Good heavens. Today I saw my son wave. Okay, now, unfortunately, I have to ask you to go back a day. And here's your second prompt. Yesterday, I heard. Yesterday, I heard. What did you hear yesterday that can lead you in reflection? Yesterday, I heard. Yesterday, I heard. And remember, our end game is giving Ruth the dream of mutual. Yesterday, I heard. What did you hear yesterday? Messages of hope. Go, John. What did you hear yesterday? Remember, we're giving Ruth her dream. Messages of hope. Messages of hope. What did you hear yesterday? Your greatest gift is memory, whether you have it or not. 4 sermons. Go on. 4 sermons. Yesterday I heard 4 sermons, y'all. What? Yesterday I heard. And you remember that. I heard, yesterday I heard that we offer Jesus our gifts, and we know not enough, but Jesus takes them and makes them enough. I love that, Spencer. Red-winged blackbird call, Anita. Red-winged blackbird call. I heard my great-grandmother and great-niece giggling. Oh my gosh. I heard about those on the margins. Look at the world around us, the human journey. Yesterday, I heard my son and husband work through conflict calmly and say, I love you. Then, wow, wow, wow. Keep going. What did you hear? I heard that my sister-in-law pray for her mother-in-law. Stories of how good news affects people in many. Oh, Ed. Oh, y'all are healing me. This is so beautiful. Keep going. 2 more. 2 more. My students go, we are done. All of us have contributed. I say, no, 2 more. I had church being in it together. Thanks, Ron. 1 more. 1 more. My 1-year-old. Okay. Was that one not worth waiting for? I'm just going to give you the keys to storytelling. Sometimes you just need to wait. Our patience in Revelation is, I'm just going to say, we are an impatient species. We want it now. I work with kids, people helping in the earthquake. Exactly, James. Thank you. I work with 18-year-olds, and they are, they look at me and say, why is there racism? Why is there sexism? Why is there genderism? Why is there ageism? Why is there, I say, y'all, I'm 65. We're past the why. We need to do the who, what, when, where, how. Let's look at who is talking about racism. Let's do what does racism look like? Let's do, I'm all about who, what, when, where, how. The why is a tyranny. Why? It's an end conversation. And it also makes you use opinions. Why is not useful. I'm just going to say, or no, I'm going to rephrase that because I get everything wrong all the time. I'm human. Why is something you earn. You earn that why. Amen. Thank you, Janet. So here's the finale of your story. Tomorrow, what will you do tomorrow? What will you do tomorrow? Welcome to storytelling. Tomorrow I will. Tomorrow I will. Tomorrow I will. When you get it done, throw it in the chat because we need to see what's going to happen tomorrow in your lives. Be kind, James. Thank you. Tomorrow I will be kind. Tomorrow I will be kind. Tomorrow I will see the world with a different lens, Anita. Tomorrow I will begin. Tomorrow I will begin. Oh, Karen. Tomorrow I will be on time. I love that. Don another hat. Connect with a former colleague. Rise up and do it all over again with it. You go, Ron. Connect with a former colleague. Thank you, Spencer. I love don another hat. I have lots of hats, John. I mean, like real hats. Procrastinate again, Dick. You will not, or you will. Keep going. What will you do tomorrow? Because this is your congregation and your family, which is a primary congregation. Oh, for crap, 2 more. Approach grading with excitement and anticipation rather than Elise is a teacher. Elise is a teacher. Listen before speaking. Send Valentines to people I love. Late, but oh well. Shauna, you know what? Time is relative. Dang, I work with a lot of physicists. One more. Who hasn't contributed? Tomorrow I will. Cinda, one more. And this is how class moves forward. Somebody contributes again if they already have contributed. I'm gonna wait. Tomorrow I'll offer a thank you to a person who offers me criticism. Oh, Ruth, there it is. Be good to my, oh, look at all that. Listen to my learners in EFM. Listen to my niece and nephew read. Y'all see, these were worth waiting for. Oh, okay. I'm very proud of you all. Who would like to raise their hand, and I'll go back and forth, and I would like to hear your complete story, which begins with today I saw, yesterday I heard, and tomorrow I will. Who would like to read? Feel free to raise a virtual hand or just unmute. And oh, look, Janet, what? Go.
Okay, so today, yesterday, and tomorrow. That's what I'm reading.
Yes.
Okay, today I saw before and after pictures of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. Yesterday, I heard 4 sermons. Tomorrow, I will attend my 100-year-old father moving back to his senior living apartment.
Mm-hmm. And could you please follow that up with I am, I know, I want, and just choose one. I am
a daughter. I know very little about elder care. I believe there is more than what I see. I dream of being a writer.
You all just heard a story. I see nods. Ruth, what's the impact of that story on you? Do you find a connection in there with Janet?
I mean, I find a connection in her story.
Yeah.
You know, she is learning about elder care as she listens and you know, has a belief that there is something to be learned.
Look what you did, Janet. Look what you did. Look what you heard, Ruth.
Fantastic.
Thank you both. Thank you both. I just looked at the clock and I have 4 minutes. I want to give you, and thank you, Janet, and thank you, Ruth, very much for that participation. Oh, what a nice invitation. And you too, yeah, you can answer that if you want, Janet. You can answer that in chat or out loud. Yeah, and remember what did we just read from, or what did we go? Answer simply, yes, no. We heard that in the half-hour prayer, in the half-hour sermon. Can Janet simply say yes? And you did. Susan, be quiet. So it just happened right in front of me. I want to give you this image about storytelling. And it comes from ancient Hebraic understanding of the nature of God. In my work in theater and in my work in religious doctrine, I look at the world through antiquity. And there's this beautiful description of all that is in ancient Hebraic doctrine. And it's described as a large circle. And that is God. And the circle is never ending. We just give it a form with our hands because we're full of anxiety, that humans want to have edges. So here's the space of God. And in that drawing, or in that mind picture, the human most of the time is a little dot on the outside of the space. And on a very good day, through prayer, through meditation, through maybe even storytelling, the dot moves inside the circle. And that becomes a connection with the divine. So I offer you the pathway. I'm coming all the way back to Jessica. There are 3 ways in. I offer you the pathway of storytelling to the inside of the circle. That's one way in to all that is. The second way in would be your willingness to take that journey, because everything begins with your willingness. And the third way in, I leave to you, because that's your discovery. Storytelling has been with us since antiquity. The oldest story we have is Gilgamesh, which was carved on a rock in, probably it is expected, prior to 6000 BCE. And it's the story of a poorly behaved king who thought a little too much of himself and took that ego out on his population of citizens, who prayed, and then he was sent the mirror image of himself, which he had to face and then lose, and then go to the ends of the earth to find out that it just came down to love. He did go back. He had learned his lesson. He did go back. And what's beautiful about the Gilgamesh story is that it begins and ends in the same place. And the first lines of the story are, "Behold the walls of the beautiful city." And the last lines of the tale are, "Behold the walls of the beautiful city." So thank you for offering me the space to meet you all. Thank you for the invitation, Peter, to meet your wonderful, divinely inspired humans. And I send you forth with the final line that being human is hard, but we can make it easier. And we can do that through storytelling. Peace.
Susan, thank you so very, very much.